for 1 week each year, medicine regulators across the globe simultaneously share campaign materials on their social media channels with the hashtag #MedSafetyWeek. Now, regulators rely on reporting for adverse drug reactions to make sure medicine on the market are acceptably safe. Now, the 2022 campaign kicked off on Monday, the 7th, and it's slated to end on the 13th of November 2022. And for more details on this, I'm now joined by the Acting Deputy Executive Director in the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Dr. Theo-Ben Kandetu. Good evening, Doctor, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me.
All right. Now, Doctor, share with us the importance of the Medicine Safety Week campaign.
Right. So the Medicine Safety Week campaign is really an annual campaign. It happens every single year. It's an international campaign. It's being spearheaded by the World Health Organization's IPSILA Monitoring Center, which is basically just a monitoring center on pharmacovigilance. But nationally, we also observe it as a member state of the World Health Organization. And it's really just in an effort to raise awareness about the importance of reporting suspected adverse drug reactions to the national medicines regulatory authorities. So in Namibia, at the Ministry of Health and Social Services, we have the Namibia Medicines Regulatory Council. So that's the NMRC. So that's really the importance behind Medicine Safety Week, to raise awareness on the importance of reporting ADRs, as we abbreviated, adverse drug reactions, and also to create awareness on these entities, in member states of the World Health Organization, called national medicines regulatory authorities.
All right. Now, when we talk about adverse drug reactions, what does it entail?
Yes. So adverse drug reactions, and I've abbreviated it now to ADRs. They're really defined as harmful, unintended reactions to medicines that occur at doses that are normally used for treatment. So we are not talking about an eventuality where a patient overdoses on a medication, for example, if their wish is to commit suicide. No, we are talking about harmful reactions which are unintended, that occur at doses that are normally used for treatment. And so these ADRs are known to be actually among the leading causes of death in many countries. So it's quite important then to prevent and to detect these adverse effects of medicines, because as we do this, we collect the data on these ADRs. The National Medicines Regulatory Authorities feed this information back to the World Health Organization, for example. We feed this information back to the manufacturers who produce these drugs, these medicines, in order for them to run analysis tests, for them to run more studies on these drugs, on these medicines, in order for us at the end of the day really to improve on the safety profile of these medicines, so that we give more safer medicines to our patients. So with that said, I wanted also just to highlight one thing, and which is the act of detecting and preventing these adverse drug reactions is what we refer to as pharmacovigilance, which is basically just a term given for medicines safety through medicines monitoring.
All right. Now, the 2022 campaign theme is how patients and healthcare professions make safety work. Now, what does this mean, and how can healthcare professions take part in Med Safety Week?
Okay, so really, what we are talking about here is the medicine's safety process requires a collaborative or it requires collaboration between healthcare professionals and their patients. So we are talking about a dispensation where these two groups work in unison to ensure medicine safety. Now, when we're talking about healthcare professionals, um, what we're saying here is in their day-to-day interactions with their patients, they play a key role in ensuring that their patients are treated, number one, with the correct medication. Number two, that their patients are provided with appropriate counseling on these medications that are prescribed to them. And number three, that the condition of the patient is closely monitored. And so really in this way, healthcare workers are then able to detect ADRs or adverse drug reactions if there are any, and then to take the necessary actions to report these ADRs to the National Medicines Regulatory Authority for us then to analyze that and to feed that back to the relevant authorities or the relevant stakeholders, including the manufacturers.
All right.
Now, when we are talking about the patients, they also have a responsibility to ensure medications safety. So what I mean by this is that the patients also need to pay attention and look out for side effects that they have been counseled on the medication that have been prescribed to them. And when they do observe these ADRs, it's important for them to engage their healthcare workers, their healthcare providers, whether it's their doctors or their nurses or their pharmacists at their nearest health facility.
All right. Now, how can Namibians observe the Medicine Safety Week campaign? How can we take part in the campaign?
Okay. So, seeing as the campaign is primarily a social media campaign, um, and that it's really only for 1 week, um, Namibians can follow the campaign activities on various social media platforms of the Ministry of Health and Social Services, as well as the Ministry of Information Communication and Technology. And so some of the media pages I'm talking about is, for example, YouTube and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so forth. And what we also would like to encourage Namibians to do is, for every question or for every comment that they have that's related to medications safety, we ask them on the social media platforms to make use of the hashtag Med Safety Week. So again, that hashtag is Med Safety Week.
All right. Dr. Kandetu, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best with the campaign throughout the week.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. That was Dr. Theo-Ben Kandetu talking to us about the hashtag Med Safety Week, and we can also use it on our social media platforms since it is a social media campaign after all, using the hashtag that is hashtag Med Safety Week.